page 123 in your book. Okay. In your book, they have Volansky's Stages of Friendships. There are, I brought in a couple of models, one from Gamble and Gamble, one from Pearson Nelson, 2011, and these are models that describe how relationships form. If you notice on page 123, they have 10 steps in this stage, and I'm more focusing on how they develop, and I focus very little on the waning aspect of this at this point. But I just wanted to show this upward staircase and this downward staircase. There's a bit of a suggestion in this that says that if you get above this number 5, it's a slippery slope, and that's a fallacy. If you get to certain stages in this relationship development, doesn't mean it's a doom. You can always go back on these stages. So I just want to point that out. It's a little misleading in the book. Here's some models, and I just put aside the model that you have in the book along with another model just to show you the similarities between them. When we first form a relationship with a person, it starts off on what we consider a superficial level. It is not superficial, but it seems that way. This is where we have role-limited or initiating. Now, role-limited are the scripts that we have with others when we interact. So for example, when you go into work every day, you may say to your coworker, "Hi, how are you?" And you would expect what kind of a response back? Yeah, good. How are you? That's about it. If you are getting on the elevator with somebody, usually a head nod, or a hello, or a good morning. And that's role limited. Those are the scripts that we play. It's small talk. How's that weather? Here. Okay. But as you move through these stages, you go beyond those scripts or those roles that we play, and we start asking things that are a little deeper than just the small talk. So for example, if you go into your coworker and you decide to move into friendly relations or initiating, you may say, "How was your weekend?" Okay, that's beyond, "How are you?" That you expect some kind of a response back. And depending on how they respond will depend on whether you continue moving through these stages of friendships. They may say, "Fine, yours," which goes back to the small talk. Or they may say, "Oh, I had my son's graduation this weekend. It was great." They may go into some details and respond back, "How was yours?" So now we're moving through these stages of friendships. Our communication is changing with this other person. You're not friends yet, you're just friendly. Moving beyond this, moving towards friendship, this becomes more consistent. You may invite the person out for lunch. We always go out for lunch on Friday. Would you like to join us? You start having more conversations, and as this continues on, experimenting, intensifying, there comes a point, we're moving towards friendship, where trust is developed. And it could be anything. You just feel comfortable with this person, you feel like you know them well enough, or maybe something's happened where they had your back on something, and you have developed a nascent or just a budding friendship. And this is a very, very delicate friendship that's just starting. Once trust is developed, you have to put in a lot of energy to keep it there. If the friendship means something and you want to continue on with this friendship, you need to put in the energy into this. So it has to be consistent communication, interaction with this other person in some way in order for you to be friends, to have that trust. if something stops and you stop sharing things, that'll go away very quickly. As you're doing this, interacting more often with another person, you're intensifying and you're also integrating with this person. You'll notice that people that are new friends, they start doing things that are similar. For example, if you have a new friendship, you may start using the same sayings. Okay? Maybe there's a certain word that they always say that you never used before you met them, and then all of a sudden you're saying, "Jeepers, I've never used that word before, and here I'm using that word. Where did I get that from?" Oh, it's from this person. They're always using that word. So those are things we do. You can see couples, they may wear the same jacket. People may start having the same hairstyle. Oh, I was thinking about doing that too. And they're actually integrating their lives together. After you do this for a while, after you put in that type of energy, you move into a bonding or a stabilized friendship. And that's the best way to describe it, is you just kind of relax a little bit into the friendship. Where if I was in a new friendship and somebody didn't call me for a couple of weeks, I might think, well, maybe we're not that good of friends. If it's in a stabilized friendship, I think, they must be busy. Okay, so there's that level of comfort that you have with a friendship that's bonded and stabilized. So you still may have that consistent communication, that consistent interaction with that person, but it isn't as needed in order to develop this trust. The trust is already there. Now, I can see a lot of you thoughtful in this. So think about a person that you've known for a long time. You don't have to talk to them very often, but you care a lot about them, and they care a lot about you. If they were in trouble in the middle of the night, and they called you, would you be there for them? And would that be returned had you been the person that was in trouble? If you called them, would they be there for you? Here we have stabilized relationships. Those are those people that have reached this point. Now, there are times where relationships, friendships don't last a lifetime. They wane, and there's a number of different reasons why this could happen. The obvious one is trust could be broken. And things aren't ever the same, and you just can't get back to that area of trust. And so that can be a reason why friendships don't last. But other things could be just a change of life. College students leaving their hometown can struggle with waning friendships because, well, maybe some of their friends didn't come to school and they came here and now they're around people that have some of the similar interests, and their attitudes and values and their beliefs are changing, and they're more comfortable or more attractive, going back to the factors of attraction, to those individuals that they are in closer proximity to. So we have other things that are leading in there. So that can be a reason why friendships wane. Or another example that comes out in these classes, I started having a family, or I didn't have a family, and my friends did. We couldn't relate to each other anymore, and I felt more comfortable around new friends or different people. And then sometimes, even with stabilized friendships or friendships that have bonded, that time between communication gets to be too long and you lose track. A couple decades later, you realize, I wonder what did happen to me. And it's somehow turned into a waning friendship. Okay, so those are the stages of friendships. And again, if you go beyond these areas that Knapp and Volansky has shown on page 123, that doesn't mean that the relationship is doomed. It just means that you've entered some of these other stages. Does that make sense to everyone?